There is a major new development today in the fight over building carbon capture pipelines through parts of Iowa.
The major development today with those two companies planning to build those pipelines is that the Navigator CO2 pipeline said this morning it is canceling its project through Iowa, South Dakota, and 3 other states, citing regulatory challenges.
Yeah, the company's CEO says they're disappointed, but given the unpredictable nature of the regulatory and government process, especially in South Dakota and Iowa, they decided to pull the plug on the project. The $3 billion pipeline would have connected ethanol plants across 5 states and transported CO2 to underground sequestration sites in order to reduce carbon emissions. Meanwhile, Summit Carbon Solutions is reportedly delaying its project by 2 years. Bloomberg News reporting that Summit's CEO doesn't expect the pipeline that'll cross Iowa and 4 other states to be operational until 2026. Summit wants to capture those emissions from about 30 ethanol plants and send them to North Dakota, where it would be sequestered deep underground. A Summit spokesperson says the company remains committed to the project and will continue to go through the regulatory process in those 5 states.